Hello everyone, and welcome to another preview for the War of the Spark Early Access Streamer event, courtesy of Wizards of the Coast. So, as I've been saying, next week I'm going to be playing and doing a whole bunch of things in the Early Access event, and I wanted to show off what decks I plan to play beforehand. So, this is a deck that many of you have probably seen before, not necessarily at the top tables, but in places like Saffron Olives Against the Odds or something like that. This is Bant Walls. So the first thing you have to consider when building around a very bad creature type, to be honest, is why would I do this? And there are two primary answers. High Alert lets each creature deal combat damage equal to its toughness, and once creatures are doing that, suddenly these cards have really good rates. Grappling Sundew, instead of being a 2-mana 0/4, is a 2-mana 4/4. Oh, I need to make a correction here real quick. Yeah. And the other reason, which is even better, is Arcades the Strategist. He does the same thing, except also whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So suddenly Grappling Sundew is a 2-mana 4/4 that draws a card when it enters. That's completely bonkers and just super powerful. So, what is this deck doing to facilitate that strategy? Well, we have a few things. All of our creatures still have really low power, and so Tetsuko Umezawa is actually sort of a funny combo card, because now we've made Grappling Sundew into a 4/4 can't be blocked. And you can really just end games really quickly, especially in conjunction with Dive Down, which protects our creatures and is also giant growth in this deck, or Tower Defense, which is like the world's most ridiculous overrun. This card just blows people out of the water, and yeah, 2 mana to do that is nuts. Finally, the only card that's not directly conducive to the strategy is Conclave Tribunal. Just all-purpose, exile their thing. We have a lot of creatures that we don't mind tapping, so yeah, I think this is a fine card. I could see it wanting to be like Ixalan's Binding or something, but you really want to commit to your board and then power this out, so I think this is the better option to start. So, why am I talking about this deck now? What are we getting? Well, one thing that's actually quite good is this deck doesn't actually have quite enough walls, like that are good, I should say. This deck would kill for, say, Wall of Omens, but instead we were playing things like Gleaming Barrier, or I've seen a bunch of other ones that I did not like very much. So instead, we are playing Wall of Runes, a brand new card that is just about to be released. And this is exactly what we want it to be. It has the 0/4, it only costs 1 mana, and a deck that otherwise doesn't have any 1 mana plays. That's awesome, so we're glad to play that. And then it also, when it enters the battlefield, scry 1. This is just sort of value in itself. Scrying is always good, but it's especially good in this deck where we really need to hit either High Alert or Arcades. This deck simply does not function without one of those cards, and so being able to dig down towards them is great. If I could play 10 Wall of Runes instead of some of these other walls, I probably would. And then finally, the first card that was spoiled that seems like an obvious reason to play this deck is Teyo, the Shield Mage. This is pretty straightforward. The hexproof might come up and be nice, who knows, it's probably powerful against mono red. But the main thing is that Teyo makes 2/03 walls by himself. That's it. This is 3 mana for 2 very good bodies. And so being able to play a 1-drop, then one of our good 2-drops, into Teyo, into Arcades, downtick Teyo, draw a card, have 15 million power on the board, is more powerful than anything this deck was capable of before. So, this is one of the shorter deck techs. I don't really have much more to say. I don't know that this deck was very playable before, and this really isn't my type of thing, but the strategy seemed so obvious and possibly powered up that I'll still want to give it a whirl. So, if you enjoyed this, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel, and also be sure to follow me on Twitch in the link down below. I will be going live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, April 23rd, I think is the date? Yeah, so you should come check me out then. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.